everybody. Welcome back to the Human Perspective. I'm really excited today to introduce you to Wesley Hamilton, who some of you may know if you watch Queer Eye. And if you don't watch Queer Eye, you need to watch Queer Eye, and we'll give you information on how to do that. A number of weeks ago, I was told by Catherine Salinas, who's the producer of this program, that she'd seen this great Queer Eye piece, and that this guy named Wesley Hamilton was in it, and she thought I should look at it. So I like Queer Eye, but I don't keep up on top of it as regularly as I should. So I watched it, and I was really excited by Wesley's story. So Wesley, could you briefly give us a little information about who you are?
Yeah. My name is Wesley Hamilton. I am the founder of a local Kansas City nonprofit organization by the name of the Disabled But Not Really Foundation. I am an adaptive athlete, motivational speaker, single full-time father, and so on.
Why were you on Queer Eye?
I think my place on Queer Eye was to empower the community. Even though Queer Eye is based on trying to help people gain more confidence, I think my piece was to give the world a different perspective of what confidence looks like with a disability.
Who were you before you became a paraplegic?
Man, I was just a guy that had a limited mentality. I'm African American, and I grew up in a stereotypical type of environment, and so I fell into stereotypes, which limited myself. So I lived the streets for the most part.
And when you were shot and became disabled, what happened next? You live in Kansas City, right?
Yes, Kansas City, Missouri. I was shot multiple times to my abdomen, and that did cause me to have a spinal cord injury. At that time, I was overweight, and I had always been overweight my whole life, 250 pounds, 5'4", and just really fell into a deep state of depression, all because of kind of the mindset that I had about my disability. And it led to about 3 years of just being bedridden and just stressed out.
You mentioned that you have a daughter, and I'm wondering, what role did your daughter play as you were moving from acquiring a disability and being depressed and low morale? How did she help you move forward?
Well, I would say for 24 years of my life, I was walking, and then suddenly I have no use of my legs. And this was a whole new lifestyle that I had to adapt to. And it was hard for me to adapt because I had never been around anyone in this position to show me a way to live like this. And, but I had sole custody of my daughter. So even though I was going through these years of defeat, it wasn't days, it wasn't months, it was years of defeat. I still was a father. And I had a little girl that every day looked at me as just her father. And I was worried about the way the world viewed me because I had a disability instead of being focused on how this little girl viewed me. And when I realized that my daughter would always call my wheelchair a Superman chair, that gave me strength. It made me want to be a hero. It made me want to do more than the the norm, what I thought I was capable of doing. My daughter gave me strength when all I seen was weakness.
And so I see you now as a person who really is on a trail to empower other people, empower disabled individuals. And I think also through your example, help people who don't have disabilities really get a better understanding of disability as a normal part of life. So maybe you could give us a little more information about what helped you transitioning to seeing yourself as a person who is not only empowered personally, but views your role as helping to empower others.
Since growing up and really falling into traps of stigmas and stereotypes, and even to getting physically disabled, and then falling into a trap of what I thought was a disability, or the way I had to live with a disability because of what was viewed to me, what I saw from my own lens. So like right now, I just feel like I'm driven to empower people because I know there's a better way. Like I know there's more than what I was always taught. I know that, the 3 years that I fell into depression and being overweight was because I thought that was the normal way to live with a disability until I empowered myself and did more.
And
And
why did you have that view?
because as I was growing up, the only time that I really was around kids or people with disabilities was in school. And they would always separate them in what they would call a special education class. And like, I never understood what special ed was, but it made it seem like you had to be special and there was an issue. And because they had so many diverse disabilities in this one room, it was hard for you to just look at them like a normal person. It was always separation. So that was my views. And then as I grew up, you always had people that told you not to stare, don't ask, or things like that. And so when you get injured and something actually happens to you, now you feel like people shouldn't stare, or that's what they're gonna do, or they can't ask you. And you just fall into this trap and this depression. And I just want to show people that you can be confident, you can be happy. Just because you're disabled doesn't mean that you're limited. It's the way you think about your situation.
And I think also, the issue of staring, I get the sense that you now like when people look at you because you're also doing modeling, right?
I do. I try to give them something to stare about now, right? Like I'm like, oh, you staring at me, and but now because of the confidence that I have now, when people do look, I talk. Sometimes you're curious. Sometimes it's kids. If a kid want to ask me to push my wheelchair, come on, let's do it. If that's gonna motivate you to see that this is gonna, it's an okay way to live. If something happens to you, I want to show that. So stare at me, please.
I'm the same way. Kids want to touch the wheelchair. You can tell when you're going down the street if the kid is pulling away from you or if they really want to know more. And for the kids who want to know more, it's like, oh, have you ever seen this chair? Do you want to touch it? You want to ride on it?
Yep.
Um, I'm interested in learning also about what it is you've been doing in the community. So give us a little bit more about the organization that you've started and what you see as some of the outcomes of the work you're doing.
Oh yeah. So with disabled but not really. The basis behind that is in my mind, disabled is a mindset. I limited myself to opportunity as I grew up because of my mindset. As well as when I first got disabled, I limited myself because of my mindset. So in my mind, disabled is a mindset. And what I go out and do is try to teach people how to push past your mental limits in order for you to actually be who you are. And we do that through 8-week program through fit that's geared toward fitness and nutrition. Because I feel like if you feel better about your body from the inside out, you really don't care about not only how people view you, because you actually feel so good about who you are. So I try to teach people that aspect, but we also do other programs that go out to the homeless and empower them, give them healthy food and care packages. We do a program that empowers inner city youth to gain the confidence, allow them to see people that have been successful with that look just like them.
And are you looking at inner city youth who don't have disabilities?
Yes, yes, yes. I truly just believe that again, disabled is a mindset. And because I know that I limited myself before I became physically disabled, it I cannot just focus on one demographic. I have to go and heal the world. Like if you're limiting yourself, there's some way that I can help you push past that limitation to be who you're destined to be. And that's my mission.
So I've spoken to a number of people over the last years who talk about having multiple parts of themselves. Like I'm a white woman who's Jewish and disabled. You're a black man with a disability. How do you pull those different parts of yourself together into
Uh,
one whole?
Well, for me, I just feel like as being African American and disabled, we these two demographics face, a lot of rejection in the world, a lot of judgment, and so for me, that's adversity at its finest. And so
Mhm.
I put them together because it empowers me to know that the world sees me different, two different ways. And so having that as a connection gives me the ability to have the confidence I have, because now I love everything about me because I know that the world might see me different. I'm just not the normal guy. And I think that being able to see the color of my skin and the tires on my wheels, like on my wheelchair, is something that does something for me, and it empowers me in such a positive way.
So, unfortunately, we are about to come to an end of this program. I have one more question for you, and that is, what is your message to disabled youth and non disabled youth?
Uh, don't let your struggle be your identity, and that you can always rise above your circumstances. The situation that you're in today is only there because of the way you're possibly thinking. But if you change your mindset, if you accept who you are, if you embrace your reality and love yourself more, then you can be unstoppable no matter what limitation the world sets on you.
To have high expectations.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Well, Wesley, it's been great to talk with you. And we're going to do an interview with your daughter because she sounds great. And unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today. So we look forward to doing that soon and to having you back on the program again.
Oh
Thank
my
you so
God.
much.
Thank you, and she'll be excited for this. So truly appreciate it, and I hope this impacts and inspires whoever you show it to.
It will. Thank you. Have a good day now.